Intro, dramatic narrator voice in Washington. Power isn't only about votes, it's about moments. And in one unforgettable Senate showdown, America witnessed a clash that no one saw coming. Senator Tim Scott, polished, rehearsed, and backed by Republican talking points, thought he could lecture Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett into silence. But within minutes, the entire room learned why Jasmine's voice carries a weight that no spin doctor can mute. This is the story of the viral moment where Jasmine Crockett silenced Tim Scott and left America talking. Scene 1. The Senate chamber narrator. The hearing was supposed to be routine, a joint committee session on restoring public trust in democracy. The cameras rolled. Senators leaned back in leather chairs, shuffling papers, preparing their carefully scripted speeches. But one exchange would soon dominate headlines. Stage direction. Senator Tim Scott adjusts his tie, flashes a rehearsed smile, and leans toward the microphone. Tim Scott confidently, "Madam Chair, with all due respect, what America doesn't need right now are lectures from people who built their careers on grievance politics. Congresswoman Crockett represents a brand of division that takes us backwards, not forwards." Narrator. The room grows still. Scott is polished, smooth, the kind of speaker who rarely raises his voice, but his words drip with condescension. Tim Scott, pressing on. "She talks about justice, about inequality, but let's be real, her politics thrive on keeping people angry. That may work for Twitter, that may work for viral clips, but it does not work for America." Gasps ripple through the chamber. Scene 2. Jasmine responds. Narrator. Cameras turn. Jasmine Crockett sits calmly, her eyes locked on Scott. She doesn't flinch, she doesn't blink, she waits. Jasmine Crockett, measured, direct. Senator Scott, with all due respect, you don't get to lecture me about America when your entire argument depends on pretending injustice doesn't exist. The room stirs. Jasmine Crockett, leaning forward. "You sit here, smiling, talking about grievance politics, while millions of Americans, black, brown, poor, forgotten, live every single day under systems designed to keep them down. And instead of facing that reality, you tell them to smile, to move on, to be grateful. That's not leadership, Senator. That's denial." Narrator. The crowd shifts. Reporters type furiously. Scott's smirk fades slightly, but he tries to interject. Tim Scott cutting in. "That's not Jasmine Crockett," snapping back, voice sharp. "Don't interrupt me. You had your time." A stunned silence falls over the chamber. Scene 3. The turning point. Narrator. Crockett doesn't just push back, she seizes the entire stage. Jasmine Crockett, building momentum. "Senator, you call my politics divisive. Let me remind you, it wasn't me who stormed the Capitol. It wasn't me who peddled lies about stolen elections. It wasn't me who used fear to pit neighbor against neighbor. That was your party. And now you want to stand here and scold me for telling the truth." Audience murmurs grow louder. Jasmine Crockett, pausing, voice steady. "You say I make people angry. No, I make people aware. Awareness is not anger. Accountability is not division. Justice is not grievance. And if the truth makes people uncomfortable, that's because it was meant to." Narrator. Her words land heavy. Tim Scott tries to lean into his rebuttal, but Crockett is not done. Jasmine Crockett pointed, unwavering. "Senator, your entire career has been built on telling America that racism isn't real, that inequality is exaggerated, that if we just work harder, everything will be fine. That's not bravery, that's compliance. That's giving cover to the very systems hurting the people you claim to represent." Gasps. One senator drops his pen. The room is locked in silence. Scene 4. The viral silence. Narrator. Tim Scott leans into the mic, opens his mouth, then closes it. His jaw tightens. His rehearsed lines collapse under the weight of Crockett's raw, unscripted truth. For the first time in the hearing, Senator Scott is speechless. Stage direction. The cameras zoom in on his face. His eyes flicker with frustration. He grips the desk, but no words come. Narrator. Dramatic. And in that silence, a silence louder than any speech, Jasmine Crockett has already won. Scene 5. The explosion. Online. Narrator. Within minutes, clips flood social media. Crockett silences Scott. Jasmine destroys GOP. Gaslighting moment of the year in Congress. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Millions watch the moment Scott freezes. On-screen caption. Mock-up for YouTube. Jasmine Crockett silences Tim Scott. In viral Senate showdown, full clip comment sections explode. "This is why we love her. Scott just got humbled on live TV. No lies detected." Narrator. The spin machine scrambles. Conservative outlets call it grandstanding, but even they cannot erase the image of a senator silenced, not by anger, not by insult, but by truth. Scene 6. Aftermath in Washington. Narrator. In the days that follow, the ripple effects are undeniable. Editorials call it the showdown that defines a generation of politics. Grassroots activists cite Crockett's words in rallies across the country. Even moderate Democrats whisper that she might be the most effective voice of her party's future. Meanwhile, Tim Scott avoids interviews. When reporters corner him in the halls, his answers are clipped. Evasive. Reporter shouting, "Senator Scott, how do you respond to Congresswoman Crockett's remarks?" Tim Scott tight smile, walking away, no comment. Narrator. But silence has already spoken volumes. Scene 7. Jasmine's reflection. Narrator. Late that night, Crockett posts a statement. Not a victory lap, not a boast, just a reminder. Jasmine Crockett social media post. Speaking truth to power isn't about going viral. It's about making sure every American knows their struggle is seen and their voice matters. Narrator. And with that, the moment transcends politics. It becomes something bigger, a symbol of what happens when one person refuses to be silenced and instead silences the very system trying to dismiss them. Closing narration. In the annals of Senate hearings, most moments fade, but every once in a while, a spark ignites. Tim Scott thought he could lecture Jasmine Crockett into silence. Instead, Jasmine Crockett silenced him, and in doing so, reminded America that truth is louder than power, and justice cannot be muted. Oh, to caption. This is how history remembers the moment Jasmine Crockett silenced Tim Scott.